Hey, y'all. Hey, it's Coffee with Friends, and I am raw to the bone. Good morning, Brandilla. Good morning. I'm not going to forget to play my song today because it's going to be a good day. Come on in, y'all. Come on in and get the positive message. I've been forgetting, but not today.
Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun.
Hey.
Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up,
Today's going to be a good day.
wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Ha. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do.
The aftermath of preparation.
Good food, good
mood, blood in circulation.
one step.
at a
Good
time.
morning,
That's how you
Ansel.
make it.
Good morning,
Set a goal
Valerie.
you control and the steps you take 'em.
I gotta
pick one thought, have some concentration.
And if I make a mistake,
it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
cheers.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. But you always gotta fight and hide from the demons.
I'ma do it today.
Negative thoughts and poison the ride.
I got my invoice.
Don't ever stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. So I'ma fake it till I make it.
Positive vibes are overtaken.
I got patience.
One day at a time.
It's how you operate a cadence. So flow, you grow, you show yourself the foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it.
Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good
Oh, let me get my water.
Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, Hillbilly. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. I know I'm so petty sometimes, right? But this shit with Diddy got me like, I wonder if he ate yet. Yesterday on the news, they talked about his dinner and what they served him for dinner. It didn't sound so bad. He's being held in Brooklyn Detention Center. And baby, I know it's funky in there. Wow. But you know the interesting thing? People support who they want to support. They pick and choose what they want to support. Now, I know people out there are going to say, it's not the same thing. Well, I was scrolling through social media today, and I saw that they posted, Shade Room and BF Daily and all these podcast social media sites are posting like crazy. And one of them posted that Nicki Minaj unfollowed Diddy. I was like, okay, I get it. But didn't you pay for your brother's lawyer who raped multiple times? And aren't you married to a sex offender? Like, people, I just would have been quiet. I don't know. I guess she tried to be quiet, but when she unfollowed, these social media sites, they don't give nobody a break. She unfollowed the man and somebody fucking noticed. Like, right, Brandilla? That's what I said. I said, I said, I know she tried to do this quietly, but these social media sites be on it. So how did somebody realize that she stopped following Diddy? Like, did somebody go on Diddy's page and look through all of his friends and see who no longer is on there? But she got some nerve. That's what I said. And somebody commented, it's a difference between what her husband did and what Diddy did. And somebody said, well, what about her brother who raped multiple times? People support who they want to support. So I'm sorry, y'all, because Debbie pinging me on the side. You know how they do. They ping me on the side in the morning, but they be talking about some good stuff. So what they just talked about something that I want to where's my other note I wrote down? All right. It's an app that you find out who unfollows. Oh, because I'm like, I couldn't figure out how they knew that Nicki Minaj unfollowed Diddy. Do y'all think he gonna go in there and talk and bring others down with him? Oh, that's what I was just asking Valerie. That's what I was just asking that. What do y'all think? You know, because they so quiet out there. Like all his industry peeps that was all attached to his hip, they are so quiet. Normally, the last time when Puffy's house got raided by feds, Stevie J was running his damn mouth on IG Live and anywhere he could run his mouth. Where he at? Why are they so quiet? I didn't see that. I saw Kevin Lyles step down from CEO of 300 Entertainment the same day the day after Diddy was taken into custody. I didn't hear about Russell Simmons. But Russell Simmons, he's in Bali. What position did he step down from? I thought he'd been stepped down. Right, Hillbilly. That part, Hillbilly. That part. But everybody's so quiet, y'all. Do y'all think stepping down is going to make things better for people? Like, how does stepping down from your position protect you? Do you just save reputational damage for the company by stepping down? You step down, you hand your company over or your position over to somebody else in hopes that your reputation doesn't tear down the reputation of the company. That's the only thing that I could think of as a benefit of stepping down when you think you are about to get exposed. Yes, Valerie, that part. On another note, I'm still looking for the pictures. I am feverishly. Listen, AG be like, why does this man being locked up entertain you so much? Because motherfuckers like Diddy who think that they are so untouchable. This is what makes it fantastic for me, because people like him that take advantage of other people trying to execute on their hopes and their dreams, and they take advantage of them, okay? And they think that they are untouchable. When they get touched, baby, I get on the horn with it because it's a big deal to me. But that's the question I ask. Why ain't nobody took pictures of him being arrested, him being taken into custody. I haven't seen the mugshot yet. Like, I'm waiting for all of it. Oh, okay, Brandilla, because I'm like Kevin Lyles. That I know. But I'm like, Russell Simmons, what position does Russell Simmons have? He been in Bali. That man been left. He knew. Prince Harry makes it an international incident. What happened to Diana for embarrassing the crown? Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so it's reputational protection of reputational damage. I agree with that. But why y'all don't think anybody filmed it? Wait! No, Debbie, that was a fake mugshot. That there was a mugshot circulating, but that was a Diddy lookalike. A Haitian Diddy lookalike or something like that. Was it the mugshot with a white t-shirt? That was a fake mugshot floating around. That wasn't his real mugshot. You know, I'm looking. If you got a different one, send it to me, because I know the one circulating was not him. They did. That was on the news last night, Valerie. My mother, I was on the phone with my mother, and she was watching the news, and they said they put him in protective custody. They said that he's always escorted. I think that, yeah, that he's in witness protection, protective custody. He's always escorted. His meals and everything is brought to him. So he doesn't make movement in general population. He's not moving around. He's in protective custody. And the reason why they do that is because, and Valerie can chime in more here, but the reason why they do that is because this is a racketeering case. That's the big charge here. Racketeering is one of the biggest charges that he's being hit with. Racketeering is like that big time mafia type charge when you are running an organized crime, right? That's a big deal. And normally when you have a racketeering charge or something of that nature, like Valerie said earlier, other people are attached to that. Sometimes it's big people. And so they have to put you in witness protection because they're trying to hone in on the racketeering, the organizational crime, and the people that sit at the top of that. So that they need to protect Diddy because they don't know if somebody is going to try to off him to keep him quiet, or if he's going to off himself to not, have to divulge so much information. So they're watching him for the betterment. People think it's because they care so much about Puffy and they want him to live, right? I mean, I think that's a part of it. But the feds really want to bring down, believe you me, y'all watch TV, in the back room somewhere, somebody got an org chart set up, okay? Puffy picture might be at the top, and then there's a bunch of pictures underneath him. They are trying to take all them motherfuckers down, and they need to keep Puffy alive long enough to do that shit. Okay, so believe that. Yeah, they turned down the $50 million bail, and then he came back with an amendment to that during his appeal to say that if they let him out, he will not entertain female company. And I was like, well, what about the male company? You should have said female and male, because what the fuck is going on here? And the judge still denied it. Supposedly, the judge said he is going to sit until his trial. Baby. I heard that it was the audacity of him to come in and think that he can set the tone of what was going on. So when he walked in and his lawyer and them offered this $50 million deal, the judge was like, who the fuck? Who the fuck do you think you are? You think you could just come in here and throw money around? If you got $50 million, motherfucker, you could disappear. Okay? Right. Good morning, Kiss the Boys. Yes, let them know, Kiss the Boys. Hit the like. RICO, and it's a very high profile case. They calling it criminal organization. Yes, that's what the racketeering charge is. When you get a racketeering charge, that means that you are running organizational crime. You have a crime, a criminal organization. Okay. But what is this? So beyond having over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, right? He has 784 dildos. So I was trying to figure this out in my mind. Good morning, Cena. I was trying to figure this out in my mind. Like when people go to his freak offs, right? I'll be sitting here thinking about this shit. When people go to his freak offs, right? Is there like a you know, I be wondering, like, do they have like a closet where people go and they just get their bottle of baby oil, they pick up a dildo, they pick up lube? Because he had over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, he had lube, and then he had the 784 dildos, right? And so is there a closet? So like when a freak off starts, do they just hand out the dildos, the one bottle of baby oil and some lube, and they be like, go to the fucking corner and get your, I don't know. Right, Valerie, y'all better buy stock in baby oil. I agree, Hillbilly. Hollywood will never be the same. What in the fuck? See, everybody laughed when they came after Bill Cosby, right? Everybody was like, oh, and then when they came after R. Kelly, right? It was R. Kelly and Bill Cosby fighting for their lives, right? And you would think during that time when R. Kelly and Bill Cosby was fighting for his life, you would have thought people like Diddy would have been like, you know what? Let me get my shit together. Because motherfuckers, this Me Too movement is really Me Tooing. And so let me sit the fuck down. Like, you got to know when to sit the fuck down, when to stop. The fuck? Yes, you can get a guest link, Brandilla. I will put it up there. Hold on to your seat. I will definitely put it up there. All right? Stay there. Of course, you could come on and talk about it. Today is Friday. Okay? So beyond that, guys, I have 2 questions that I'm going to throw out to y'all today. Okay? But before I get into that, keep talking. I'm going to read. Before I get into that, let me go ahead and read the positive thought so I can set the tone for our show this morning, and then we can continue with the Diddy talk, and then the 2 questions I have, and Brandy could come on and tell us about the world that she is going through. Well, I'm gonna let Brandy come on first, and then I'll get into my 2 questions. All right. September 20th. I experience and express the power of trust because there is a divine place to put anything that challenges me. Baby, this is a good message because each and every day, you know, that we stumble across some challenges in our life. Do we know where to put those challenges? How do we navigate through our challenges? Well, here you are. You're going to get the word of the day to let you know where you should be putting your challenges, okay? Do you have a God jar? Do you? If you don't, you should. A God jar is an actual jar, much like old jars you have stashed away in the kitchen or the basement. That's right, there is now a divine use for the old mayonnaise, pickle, or jelly jar that you've been holding on to. That jar can be transformed into a divine healing tool. All you have to do is wash the jar, dry it out, and find a lid for it. If you are so inclined, you could decorate the jar. It's up to you. Just know that with a God jar, all of your worries will soon be over. Now, here's how the God jar works. You must first prioritize all of your duties, responsibilities, and desires you are working on or working through. Once you have your list, choose one that you are going to work on. Anything you are not working on goes into the God jar. This is good. Take the thing out that you're working on and put everything else inside the God jar. The way you put them in the God jar is to write them down. Using a few words as possible, write each item on a separate sheet of paper. Avoid the temptation to tell God how you want the situation to unfold. Don't tell him how you want it to happen. Just put it in the God jar, whatever it is you want, you're planning. Good morning, Shirley. Avoid the temptation to tell God how you want the situation to unfold. Place the sheets of paper into the God jar throughout the day and for days to come. Should the situations come to mind, simply remind yourself God is taking care of it. I love that. If for some reason a God jar situation remains unresolved or builds up pressure, write it down again. Be sure that once you put something in the God jar, you do not try to fix it on your own. You will be guided and directed on what to do next. I need a God jar. I do. I need to put stuff in it. Until today, you may not have had a way to deal with the mounting pressure of certain situations in your life. Just for today, make a God jar for yourself. Use it as a way to surrender some of the things you are unable to address at this moment. Yes. Today, I am devoted to realizing that when I can't do something, God can. I think that's a great thing to practice. I'm going to have to get a God jar, y'all, because we got to know where to store our challenges because, baby, sometimes, we have so much stuff coming at us and we get stuck on how we want situations to play out instead of trusting the process. And so what this message today is saying is trust the process. Create a God jar. Write your situations down. Throw them in the jar. Forget about them. Don't try to tell God how you want those things to pan out. Just trust that it will happen. And if you feel like that thing in the jar is stressing you, it says write it down again and drop it in the jar and walk away from it. To let you know that maybe you can't, but God can. All right. And so that's the message today. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the guest link up there so that Brandilla could come on and talk to us about her new adventures because I love to hear that. All right. And while she's getting herself together, the link is there, Brandilla. While you're getting yourself together, let me see what y'all are talking about up here. They called him Sean Johnson and Johnson. I'm fucking dead. I think they were sliding around on the floor getting busy, just all out orgy. That's what they said. They were like, his floors and shit was slippery. What it smell like in there? Because all that ass clapping, I'm not trying to say men's butts smell. I'm not trying to say that. But they might.
Hey yo.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Brandilla? Looking
I'm
just
okay. I'm
cute.
okay. I just wanted to get on here and tell y'all a little bit about this casino. Like, I have never experienced anything like this in this way. This is like a whole nother world to me. Now,
Okay,
mind
this
you,
sounds scary.
it's not, it's just different. It's just, I've never really had like a whole lot of money to gamble or anything like that. I'm about $20. Maybe if I'm on a trip, $100, in the machine and whatever I can turn
Yeah.
that into. Gambling is not like really a big thing in my life.
Okay.
But y'all know I'm training. I go in there at 7 in the morning. People are already in there gambling. Some people have been there all
You've been there
night.
all night. Yeah.
All night. They come in there 7 in the morning. It's a whole lot of elderly people that come in there. It's a man that comes in there every day on a walker. He can barely hear. You gotta yell to the top of your lungs to get him to hear what you're saying or whatever. This old man, he come there every day, but he went about $800 or $900 every day on
What?
the poker table or something. Yes, like, so I'll be on the night shift when I'm really working, but right now I'm training on the day shift. The day they got complete regulars, people that come in there every single day. You know them by their name, they know you, you know everything about them. Like, it's just crazy. But the thing to me that has been staggering or sad to me is the people that come in there doing cash advances
On their credit cards.
on a credit card. Now, some of them do it on their debit card. That's not as bad. But
No.
what you'll see is, they come up there, they do one cash advance. They be like, give me 1,000, give me 600, whatever they're gonna get. Within a matter of an hour or so, they back for another cash advance. And those cash advances, I mean, depending on your bank, if
Oh,
you
they
get a
charge
$1,000, they charge you like $195 or $65 or something to get it. But it's so sad to me once they do a cash advance. If you're back later to do another cash advance, that means you lost all that money. And then you see them come. Usually, a lot of times they can get a second cash advance, but then they come for a third one, and then that one will decline, and then they're pulling out another card, or they'll say something like, I know that money is on it. Let me go call the bank and come back." Then you start to see the desperation set in. That is
that's the sad part.
absolutely sad to me. And I'm just like, if it's your credit card, that bill is coming next month or whatever. So that means you lost that money. And now you got to get ready, sit there and pay a bill for money that you lost. Like, that's got to be depressing to like have to relive
That money you paying interest on it. You paid the fee to get the cash advance.
all of that, all of that. Like, I'm like, but once you start seeing them say, and or the next thing they do is, they come up and be like, let me do a cash advance for 600. Decline. Okay, let's do five. That decline. Okay, let's do four. We can only let them do it 3 times, and then they got to get back because that takes a while to go through and process a cash advance. So they get 3 tries. If they decline, they got to get back in line. They will come back and keep trying. I've seen people start out, they be like, let me get 1,000 or let me get 600 and get down to 150 till they finally get it to go through. And I mean, that is so sad to me. Like, the desperation that you see these people go through, just keep taking out money. You see, and I wasn't even familiar with what a marker is. Do you know a marker?
Yeah, someone that's in there that is
No, it's a line of credit. It's a casino line of credit where people
oh,
have
okay.
lines of credit through the casino. Some people come right in and pay their marker because I guess when you get it, like, it has a due date that you have to pay it back or whatever. They will come right in and pay it and take it right back out. Like, so they just pay it if
So
it's a
they have a
thousand
line
three
of
and just
credit.
take it right back.
No, that's
Yeah,
what a market is. They have a
it's
line.
a marker. Yeah, it's a casino line of credit. Absolutely. I mean, it's just the saddest thing. I think the other day, the saddest thing that I have witnessed so far, the man came up there. I forgot whether he said he played 8,000 or 800, but I think he said 800. Do you know this man came up there with a bag of change and had me count out $5 in change so he could get out the parking garage? I said, I have seen it all. Like, he lost all, but I guess he knew. I guess he bought the change from home. But I mean, it was a combination of
You know
quarters,
how many
dimes,
people
nickels,
that's
and
in
pennies.
there that probably has gambling addictions that you looking at?
Oh, I know. I can see who some of them are now because I've been there for 6 days and I've seen some of them every single day. They are there at 7 o'clock in the morning gambling. But I mean, I said, this man done lost all his money. He bought a bag of coins to pay to get out the garage. I said, I have seen, oh, but you know what he did? Once I gave him $5, he said, I'm gonna go see if I can turn this into more. He didn't
What?
go, he didn't pay to get out. Nope, he got that $5. He said, you know what?
I
I'm gonna
wonder
actually
if
go
they
see.
don't have money to get out the garage. What happens?
I think they can go to the rewards desk and get a if you have a card, I think they'll give you a voucher or something to get out.
Okay.
He didn't know that though. But he said, you know what? I got this $5. He said, let me see if I can go turn this into something more.
Did he ever come back with winnings?
I never saw him again, unless he came when I wasn't up there or something. Never saw him. But I said, really, I said, you came in here with change to pay to get out the parking garage. Like, that's sad. But they were telling me about other things, of course. And I saw it. I've been watching videos on it a little bit now because I'm kind of fascinated with the mindset of these people. And there was a girl here in Baltimore that left her child in the car, but they say security
Oh
goes around
yeah,
all
I
the time.
saw that on the
Mm-hmm.
news. She claimed she was
Yep.
looking for her husband, but she was in the casino gambling and her baby was in the car.
4 years old. But there's been numerous people that leave their children in the car. The people that I work with, they talk about the people who have their elderly parents that they care for, that they leave them in the car. They said somebody bought their elderly parent in there and was gambling and didn't realize the parent got away. The parent went in the bathroom and took all their clothes off and was running through the casino naked. So I guess the parent had Alzheimer's or something like that or whatever. But that place right there is an alternate universe. Them people come up there, they be having attitudes because they lost or whatever. But it's like, and then they come up there, they be like, I hate this casino. But they come back the next day. It's like they must be drawn to it or something where they can't stop. They are literally in turmoil, but they will still just come the next day. It is so many people that come up there to be like, I hate this casino, but they come to the casino.
It's amazing because when you think of addictions, right? People are quick to put down people that have a drug addiction, like on crack or something like that, and they'll
Hmm.
talk about them negatively, right? Oh, that's a drug
Yep.
addict, that's a crackhead, right? But gambling, look what Mike Patton said. His father, they lost their house because of gambling, and
Hmm.
that is a big addiction. Like, how would you handle being with someone that has this kind of addiction?
I don't know, but I know that there's couples that come in there and gamble. It's a bunch of elderly couples that come in there together. On those videos I was watching on YouTube, the one woman said she was like telling different stories, or it's like a whole thing of stories about like gambling addiction or whatever. And they said there's a couple that, elderly couple that would come in the casino every day and gamble. They say the wife would play the slots and the husband would play cards on the table. They say the people from the casino came and tapped her and said, man, we need you to come with us. She was like, why? She wasn't trying to get off the machine. They had to finally tell her. They said, your husband is having a heart attack, he's about to be rushed to the hospital. They said, she said, bring me his wallet. They said she finally went to see about him the next day. She did not stop playing, and he ultimately died. This was not anything that I like anybody told. This was on a YouTube video. That addiction is real. I did not know that it was like that, and I also now see why the Asians have their own room in the casino. They
That's
are
what
the
that's
main.
what Cheryl was saying, that the Asians have their own room in the
Oh,
back.
baby, we think when you I'm just noticing the dip. Like I'm just a people watcher. I'm just an observer of things that go on. Those Asians are the ones that cash out the most chips. They the ones I hate to see them coming because I got to sit there and count out 5, 9, 10, $17,000 worth of money. It is an Asian woman that comes in there from time to time, and it just I said I'm sitting here, I'm having all these financial troubles, Robert. This lady
Girl,
came in
I
there
know.
with $17,000 cash and said, give me $17,000 in chips. Do you know in 2 hours she was back doing a cash advance? She sat there in 2 hours and blew $17,000. I'm like, she could have just she would have solved all my problems. It would have still been the same result for her. That's like her flushing that down the toilet. She came back 2 hours later and did a $2,000 cash advance. And when I was leaving for lunch, she was back in line again. I don't know how much, but it says to me she had at least lost $19,000 in a matter of 3, 4 hours and was back again for more money. But that woman came in there with $17,000 cash and said, give me chips.
You know what's crazy? I remember this guy that I used to see. We went to Vegas one year. I had to think because we used to go to Atlantic City a lot too. But this particular trip was Vegas, and he was a heavy gambler. I mean, heavy. He used to play 3 card poker. So we would get there, we wake up in the morning, have breakfast or whatever, and go right to the table. He would be at the table from morning. Like, I would start out drinking coffee, into drinking liquor, back to drinking fucking coffee because I can't keep my
Hmm.
eyes open. It be 2 o'clock in the morning. I remember one night, it was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I'm tired. He was playing 2 hands on a 3. He said, no, sit and take 2 seats. And I was like, I'm tired. He said, I will give you the money to play. I said, the only way I'm going to sit here and play these 2 seats is if I win, because I had just lost my Michelle watch that year on the beach. And I said, if I sit here, whatever you win, I'm going to take my money, 2,500 or whatever, and I'm going to go get a Michelle watch because they sell them here in Vegas. Baby, we sat there. I played the 2 tables. I swear they were bringing me coffee. They were bringing me liquor. This nigga, he was drunk and playing. He hit for $15,000. I remember, and I said, listen, I'm leaving. I'm going upstairs. I said, you good? He said, yeah. He hit for $15,000. I left. When he came to the room, he was fucked up. I said, where's the money? He said, oh, it's in my pocket or it's in my jacket. I couldn't find that money. Baby, he dropped the money. Envelope full of money. Cashed it out, dropped the money. The casino, we filed a report and everything. These motherfuckers gamble. But the one thing about casinos and their cameras, when he dropped the money in the pit. and the camera caught it. And the pit boss, I think that's what they call him, like the person that sits in the pit, had the money and he was able, they called him, but we had flown back already. They did call him and he had to fly back to Vegas and pick that money up. But baby, the point that I'm making is that these motherfuckers will sit there. And I did get my Michelle watch, by the way, because I hit and he gave me the money. But these motherfuckers, they will sit from morning until the next fucking morning
Mm-hmm.
gambling.
They come up looking like zombies to cash out. They reek 7 o'clock. I'm telling you, I'm there at 7 a.m. Come there reeking of alcohol. They just look like eyes all puffy, bloodshot. Like it's new to me. I have never experienced the casino in this way. But I find this the cash advance thing is like the saddest thing to me. Like you just keep coming, and then once they start pulling out different cards and keep telling you to lower the amount, or some people be like, "Oh well, that must be a sign I don't need to gamble." All they do is leave and go call a bank or something. Like they'll. I called the bank, and they said that like the desperation. And I'm not saying any of this to judgment. It's just all observation,
Yeah.
like of what people are going through. I'm like this casino
That
addiction
must be
thing.
hard to look at on a regular basis. I mean, even like Mike is saying, he works at a liquor store, right? And so for you guys to be in places where you witness people that have these addictions, like he's saying, people come in there 5 times a week buying a pint and a
Mhm.
fifth. See, that to me is a red flag, right? Because there was this guy that tried to talk to me. And I noticed the pattern. He would go to the liquor store on a daily basis and buy a fifth. And I'm like, if you drink like I drink, right? I have a bar in my house. So when I buy vodka, I buy a big bottle of vodka, I buy a big bottle of whiskey, and these things sit on my bar. When I'm ready to go take a drink, I pour a glass and I sip it. When you see somebody going to the store every fucking day to buy a pint or a fifth, that is a red fucking flag. When you see
Mhm.
people like what you said in the casino trying to cash in coins for $5 and shit like that, that is a sign that something is definitely wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one. And that's why growing up, I did look at drug addiction as the worst. But as I, began to open my eyes and educate myself a lot more, I don't look at drug addicts any different than I look at any other addiction, whether it's sex addiction, shopping addiction,
Food.
alcoholism,
Mhm.
whatever the fuck it is, right?
Mhm. Yep.
It's an addiction, and ultimately any addiction can impact your life
Yep.
and the life of those around you, right?
Yep.
So that must be hard to look at.
It's just it's like because me, I'm a kind. I mean, I want you to have what you want, but you can start to see the person kind of breaking down a little once they start like asking you to decrease the amount so they can get that cash advance to go through, or start pulling out different cards, or just the stories they may tell you. The one woman, she was like, I really didn't want to pull this one out. She was like, I just paid this one off. If they think they gonna get some money, if you might not want it, you might have just paid it. If you got to, you gonna pull that card out. Like that right there, that is sad to me. That is a level of desperation that I've been familiar with alcoholics. I've seen drug addicts, but I have not seen gambling addiction in this way. It's sad to see, because especially when I'm thinking, I could see if I was on the night shift, but I'm literally thinking it's 7:30 in the morning, and you are either you getting here, you've been here. Like that's a bad one. That's a bad one there. But I just observe people. Like I just had to share that. That's why I haven't experienced anything crazy. Like they said, the parent, the elderly parent running naked through the casino, whatever. When I was so we have a cafeteria. It's a whole nother world to the casino too that people don't. I never realized the employees have all that they have. It's a whole nother world
What
back there
do
that people don't.
employees have?
Like a cafeteria and stuff like that where we get lunch and all that, and sitting in there. So the lady that's training me, the guy, he's a table dealer. I'm not sure I don't know if it's poker or whatever he does, but he was just talking about how the guy assaulted him, the night before, because he lost and he wanted his money back, which no casino gives you your money back when you lose. But he was like, I want my money back. And he kept saying no, but whatever he was saying, he said the guy was just like, have you ever been raped before? Like how we go from that to have you ever been raped before? But it turned into this whole big thing, and somehow he said he put his head down like this was, I don't know if he was trying to woosah or what, but he said the customer grabbed a bunch of chips and threw them at him. So he wants him to get a lifetime ban, from the casino. But security, of course, escorted him out, but they don't know if he's going to be banned, lifetime or whatever. But them people and see, I'm in a cage. Like I'm not really, see, they can't get to me.
Yeah.
But I think them dealers they really be mad at the dealers, not us. They have an attitude when they come up there to us because they mad because they lost or whatever. But they really be feeling like them dealers take the money, from them or whatever. So they
Mhm.
the ones that need to be in a cage. And
Yeah.
then I had a guy on my first day.
But they
He
have
came.
security back there that be pacing around.
Oh, they everywhere.
They
In that cage where I am, they see everything I do. Every time I touch anything, I gotta go like this. I gotta show them my hands. If you touch, even if you adjust your clothes or whatever, everything. If I touch chips, if I touch money, everything, I do it with both hands. But I'm just showing you, you gotta show them your hands. Everything you do. It's cameras everywhere I look. I'm sure it's some that I don't even see. They see every move you make. When you put them chips down, you got to put them down. You got to stack them in a certain way so they can count them. We got to do a 3 count of the money. We got to put it out so they can see. But they say that also like helps, like if it's ever a discrepancy or if your variance come up short, they can go back to the tapes and like see. They know exactly what you have at every moment. We can't bring nothing in that cage. We don't have pockets. We can't bring drinks, our phone, nothing. Like you just up there isolated. You can't take nothing in there. Like it's so much security in there. It's unbelievable. And they catch everything. And like that's how I guess they find the people in the car because they're patrolling the parking lot or the parking garage. They have cameras. They have it's so much
I didn't
security in
know
there you
they
would never
control the
believe.
parking lots, but that's good that they do that, being that so many people leaving people in the cars.
Yeah. But the guy came on the first day, and I don't even know why he would do this, and I didn't even know people could do it. Like, of course, you can get put on the ban list for things if you do something wrong, or whatever, you get banned. But you can also ban yourself from the casino. I didn't know that.
What? Put your name on a list?
Yeah, I guess it's somewhere you can call or email. I'm not exactly sure how they do it, but they can put themselves because I guess they know they're so far out of control. It has to be up to the casino to tell them no. So when we do, like if we just cashing out chips, we can just cash them and give them the money. But like, if it's over a certain amount or various things we have to do, we have to run them through the computer. And of course, we have to kind of track like how much because if you get over 10,000 in a day, that has to be reported. But 3,000, we got to report 5,000, we got to report 1,000. Like it's all these different amounts you hit, like different things you got to do. So you have to run them through the computer for certain things. So I run him through, and it says prohibited. So I had to get security. That's what we had. Once they come up prohibited in there, you cannot do the transaction no more. You have to get security, and they escort them out. But the guy was like, "Well, y'all not gonna give me my money back?" Like I guess he wanted the money back that he played, to win because he won like $2,000, but they wouldn't give it to him. They wouldn't even give him back what he bet. But I'm thinking if you to the point that you gotta ban yourself from the casino, you're not new to this. So they're not that you just threw money down the toilet. And he's saying to them, that's my hard-earned money. Y'all just gonna take my money? I couldn't really see what one's like security because I guess they don't want the other customers like really seeing what's going on. They dealt with him right there for a while, and then he was escorted off. So I don't know if they took him in the security office. I don't know if they took him out. But that's just another thing. Like these people will be prohibited. Why would you come in there knowing that you risk not being able to get your money and the money that you paid to win? You're not going to get that either. Like that's just so, but that just shows you the level of desperation that some of these people. And then he like, well, I just thought that was at the other casino. No, if you get banned, that's somehow that is transmitted to. I don't know if it's all the casinos, but all the casinos in Maryland get that
Well, if
same,
you put on
thing.
ban at one casino in Maryland, you ban from all of them.
Yep. That's what they. I didn't know that until it happened. But he thought that it just banned him from that one, which I guess is why he
Got
came
it.
to my. No, we see it. It says game pro, PROH, meaning game prohibited. So he can't go to. I don't know if he can go anywhere else. I don't know if he can go to another casino, within our chain. And I don't. I would have to really ask. But anywhere here. So if he thought, that he was just going to be at the particular casino he was trying to do it, now he's banned from all of them. so he can't. So they say if you put yourself on, you can take yourself off, and then they say it's different. Like some people have a 1 year ban, a 3 year ban, and then some people have a lifetime ban. Like when you look on the date when they come off, it's like year 3031 or something they come off. So ain't nobody living to see 3000 nothing.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
yeah, you banned to it was. I think one person said the year 3100 something they banned to or whatever. So a lifetime ban is what it's saying.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Thank you for sharing that. That's deep.
yeah, thanks. I just wanted to just my new normal.
Ultimately, how are you doing with the job? Are you, getting used to it? Is it overwhelming?
It's okay. I can count. I have not been used to counting that large sum of money, like literally counting it out. And I hate when the people come up with the $5 chips. They might have $1,500 in $5 chips.
They don't have like counters?
They have but the chips we gotta count.
We got to
The
count.
money you can put the money in the money machine, to make sure, but you have to count the chips. So that's what I hate when I see somebody come there with a bunch of red chips. That's $5. So I would be counting forever. But that's just the thing, And then people they want to tell you like, oh, it's 780. No, you can't tell me how I have to count the chips, because they could be trying to say more or like I have to count and verify, the amount of chips. So that's the thing I don't like, it's just if you won four, five, $9,000, I gotta sit there and count all these chips and then sit there and count, all the money. And then anything over $3,000, we have to have a supervisor come out and double it. They have to go back behind you and verify. And then if there's no, and this is how you can really see they watching you in real time. If there's no supervisor available, you got to call surveillance on the phone and do a surveillance double. They said, then I guess you say I'm in whatever cage you in. They zoom in on you. You got to kind of like go like this, like across the chips, like just to let them count the chips, and they be like, okay, 3,500 or whatever, and then you count the money out, so you can see them people see you in real time exactly what you're doing, and they be like, okay, like so the surveillance, you don't see who they are or where they are, but they will verify the chips for you. So that's challenging, and then counting out at night is challenging because by then I have so many chips that I can count cash better than I can count chips.
Yeah.
But I have racks, and this is the morning shift. Mind you, I'm getting off at 3:30. And I'm counting. I think one day I counted $48,000.
3:30 in the morning?
3:30 p.m. I work 7 in the morning, 3:30. So by then I might count out $48,000 just in chips. That's not to mention the lottery tickets I cashed, the cash advances I did. That's the part I don't like at the end of the day, just counting all that stuff out. You got to count every last thing, all of them, which I don't even understand why the people come up to the cash. Well, I do know for one reason why they come up. When you get the little white slip from the slot machine.
Oh, look, Brandzilla. So Cheryl Lee is online outside, and a reverend is over here in the podcast. And they have an organization right there in Franklin Street in Baltimore for people with addictions.
Okay, hopefully, and they have we have intervention and stuff that we can do. Like if we hear them say certain things, we are trained on like how to know when to suggest, whatever to people, like because it's called responsible gambling. So yeah, we do get training on how to know, when to kind of maybe offer something, or you may have to refer something to the gaming ambassador.
Yeah.
If it's something that I haven't seen it, and I haven't trained it, so I guess it's nothing that's outlandish to her, but there's I guess certain extreme things that people would say that would indicate you need to refer them somewhere. And they say people's spouses call up sometimes and ask, for them to be put on a ban or something, because I guess maybe because of the damage or whatever that's being done to their home. So it's a lot to it, but like I say, it's just all an observation. Like I don't judge, because just like I've struggled with addiction. Well, I don't know if I have a food addiction, but I've struggled with like weight loss. I understand
Yeah.
what it's like to struggle with something.
Right.
But
That's
it's
why I
just
said addiction can spread across so many things. I had a girlfriend that had a shopping addiction. I mean, literally, people laughed when I told them that, and I was like, "That's not funny," because she was emptying out their savings and their emergency monies and spending everything. You know what I mean? And she had to go
Mhm.
get help for that. So, and that was the first time I learned of a shopping addiction. I'm like, "That's really an addiction," and she was like, "Yes, there's therapy for that."
Mhm.
Because
Yeah, I
some
hope.
people, it's like you eat based on your emotions, some people shop.
Yeah, I mean, and so I find certain things fascinating. Like I've always been, for some reason, fascinated by people with schizophrenia. Like I just think it's just a fascinating process, or just a thing to deal with. So apparently, like there's a whole psychology. I guess it's different things that people get out of drug addiction or drinking or whatever. But apparently, the people that are addicted to gambling, it's not the money so much that addicts them. It's
The
the
adrenaline.
mm-hmm,
Because I'm gonna tell you, I play on my phone Monopoly slots and Slot Mania and Double Win, the free game slots. And I'm gonna tell you, I could sit there on my couch watching TV playing these games, and it keeps me spinning because of all the music and the lights and the
yeah.
interaction. It's something that feeds into your mental that keeps you like it keeps you revved up and going. So it's a reason why there's so much noise in a casino.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
much
there's a whole psychology to how they are made. Like you notice there's never any windows in there. They
no
never want people
windows.
to realize what time it is or how long they've been
The
there.
AC is always high to keep you up.
Yeah, it's a whole like psychology to
Yeah.
how the things are made. But now I didn't get this from like what I'm doing, but I just been like researching it because I'm just like a little bit fascinated by like what I'm seeing. And they say that people get upset like if you go right in and quickly like hit a jackpot or whatever. They like people don't want to win quickly. They like the anticipation of being there all day or for hours and hours. They just want to keep playing. And that's what you always have, a bunch of elderly ladies that come in there and get a bunch of $5. They might come in there and get $200 worth of $5 bills. They don't want the big, but they want to keep. And the lowest you can put in is a $5
Me
bill.
too, because I go to the penny machine and put 50 in. And I sit there,
Hmm.
bing, bing. I just like
Hmm.
the adrenaline of the noise and the hearing the ching-a-ling-a-ling and the ah and the
Yep.
sa-la-la. And I
Yep.
just want to sit there and chill and drink and and do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I would think I just want to jump in and win because I guess I don't have that. I want the money, but other people want the experience. They want the adrenaline. They talk about the people on the roulette table, and they had a thing on one of the YouTube videos where they show in the brain like the dopamine and everything that's going through. Like if on the roulette table, like if you place your wager versus then once they spin the wheel, once you're waiting, and then they show like once you find out whether you win or lost, even if you win, they say the dopamine in the brain doesn't increase anymore from when you find out that you won versus when you place that wager. So the rush is in the anticipation of what's going to come out.
Yeah.
And that's what the addiction really is. I say that is amazing.
That's crazy. Good
Yes,
morning.
wow.
Good morning.
Hello.
Look at that
Hello.
hair growing all down your back.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been doing its thing.
Yes,
I'll
it is
give it
definitely doing it.
that.
Love it. What's going on, Mike?
Oh, nothing. I'm actually trying to relax a little bit before work over here doing some writing and stuff like that, and living this new normal of working at a liquor store and doing Lyft driving, which can be quite interesting on the weekends when I do this.
Yeah.
So yeah. Probably make about $300 to $400 on the weekend doing it. So
That's good, right?
yeah.
I thought about it once or twice. I was like, I'm not doing nothing. I should just get up and drive Uber or Lyft. But you know what? I don't like to drive.
Nah, don't do it at night. I'll tell you that. If you're a woman that's trying to do this, don't do it at night. Don't do it.
What's the worst experience you've had so far?
Oh, it was a guy trying to tell me about going to his weed man. Basically, he jumped in the car downtown, and I picked him up downtown. He had somewhere to take him. It was him and his friend. So I'm like, okay, cool. He jumps in the car and he starts like, man, I got to pee really bad. I'm like, I don't know why I need to know that, but anyway, so he keeps talking about, yeah, well, how much can I pay you to get you to kind of get you to take to the weed man or whatever? And I'm like, you ain't add that in as a stop, so that ain't gonna happen. He's like, how much money can I pay you? Man, I got the money. I'm good for you. His guy in the front, it's like, his guy in the front was like, what does the guy in the front say? His guy in the front said, man, you ain't got no money. I gave you all the money. I was like, Lord, here we go. So I'm like, let me get this guy over here. So one, he don't pee in my car. Two, he don't ask me any other crazy mess. So got him there about 5 to 10 minutes. Boom, got him up, dropped him off. Next thing you know, I'm pulling off. I looked over there and he's like peeing in the bushes while I'm driving off. Yeah. No, I got one that was worse though. I got one that was worse that happened last weekend though. A young woman drops in my. It's a black woman. She jumps in my car, pick her up out in West Nashville. For those that don't know West Nashville, it's like I-40 going towards Memphis is where West Nashville is. It's not. I mean, it's not saying it's at Memphis, but it's like maybe like 15. It's like 20 minutes from me. So go out there, pick her up, get her in the car. I'm like, okay, cool. I do small talk stuff like that or whatever. Ask her where she's from. She's like, I'm from Philadelphia, Mississippi, and I knew a football player that was from there, so I kind of connected. And of course, Mississippi is called the SIP, not Mississippi. If you know Mississippi, you say the SIP, not Mississippi. So I'm talking to her, just trying to, some conversation. She said she broke her shoe. We had to go back home, which is basically Airbnb, and change shoes to go back downtown. So I'm thinking, it's gonna be an easy ride. I'm almost to Broadway, which is the big street downtown where all the folks go, and country music and rooftops and all that mess. So anyway, I'm almost there, and I'm getting there, and she's like, "Oh, well, I'm about halfway there," and she's on the phone. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna ask her a question." She's like, "Oh, well, hold on, I gotta call my best friend." All of a sudden, all hell breaks loose at that point. Hey, ah! So she's like yelling in my ear, and I'm like, what in the hell just happened? And she's yelling, she's drunk. So she's like, well, yeah, let me have to stop and go see my best friend, and bring him downstairs. You got to party with me. And she's yelling right in my right ear. She's literally right in my ear yelling the entire time. Had to go pick up her best friend because she had it as a stop. This guy's drunk. He's a white guy. This guy's drunk too. And she just hops out the car before it really stops, going into his house. I'm sitting out there like, okay, they need to come on. What's going on? They both get in my car. She sits in the front seat this time. He sits in the back, and then they got another friend with them. Lord have mercy. You would have think they were still on the phone talking. They're yelling, screaming, all type of shit the entire time riding. And I'm like, Lord, please let me drop them off so I can get them out of my car. And I finally got them out of my car, and their friend actually felt bad that I had to deal with that. Gave me a $20 cash tip. So I was like, well, hey, that part worked out well. But other than that, that was hell driving that car. Because my right ear was still ringing when I dropped them off. Was that?
Do you use the camera in your car?
Nah, I don't use the camera in there.
Like a dash cam?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't have a dash cam in my car, but I surely would thought about it. Oh, I saw a question that said, do the women flirt with me?
If I did, I would definitely have a dash cam.
I saw the camera.
Nobody ever flirts with me. I can promise you that. It's like right now, I guess because I'm new or whatever, they act like I don't even exist. It's kind of weird for real.
Oh, that woman flirted with me. That woman definitely flirted with me because she definitely was all in my. That's
what Valerie asked. Anybody flirts with you?
Oh yeah. People have definitely flirted with me while I'm driving for sure. Like I literally had a whole group of white women that I picked up downtown. There's like 4 of them, and I'm hearing the bathroom conversation that I really ain't supposed to hear. And then, I get to the gate, right? And I'm getting ready to, the gate's open. The gate's not opening, actually. So they're like, oh, well, Lord, I hope we don't have to get out here and share some ass or shake some ass to get in here and, sharp ass. I'm sorry, you might see our bare ass. I'm like, where the hell did this conversation come from? And I'm like, let me just not say nothing. Let's drop them off and let's get the hell out of here.
You must get some good stories. I'm sure you're going to collect a lot of good stories from doing that.
Ooh, Lord, I've already collected a lot of good stories.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. But
you could write a book on these experiences.
I know. I had 2 questions to ask y'all. Y'all can stay on here, but one question is sharing your location with your significant other, right? Now, this is something that's floating around social media, right? Do you think that that's a breach of privacy, sharing your location with your significant other? Like when you're out and about, how on our phone or whatever, you can say share location or whatever. Do you think that's a breach of privacy? How do you feel about sharing your location with your significant other when you're not with each other?
You want to go first, Brandy?
I'm thinking about how I feel about. I don't really know. I guess it depends on the situation. Like maybe if they know you're going to be somewhere dangerous or something like that, just so somebody can like pinpoint where you are. But if it's anything other than that, I don't think it's good. Like, I mean, you shouldn't have to clock like your person's every move. Like that's into some other type of negative territory to me. But if it's really for a safety issue, then yeah, I think it can be good.
And you know what's so crazy? Fancy responded the same exact way because they were talking about it in my inbox before the show started. And Fancy responded and said it really depends on the situation. And I agree with that. So, like, for example, if I'm hanging out late at night or if I'm traveling, I share my Uber location. Like if I'm in Florida, I'll share my
Yeah.
Uber locations with my significant other and my son and a friend to let them know. Although I'm not in New Jersey, you know I'm getting in this Uber and I'm going here and it tracks me, I'm going. When I'm home and I'm just doing my local in and outs, I don't feel a need to share my location. But again, I agree. What do you think, Mike?
Well, honestly, what I always have practiced even before they had like the little tracking and all those different things. Just tell me where you are, so I at least know where you are, in case anything pops off. So that way I can be like, okay, cool, I gotta go to the hospital. You need you to meet me there. Where you at? Or if I need to pick you up, or if something goes down, I at least know where you are. So I don't really get much into the tracking of people. I'm like, look, I'm not a police officer, nor do I plan to be one. So if you tell me where you are, stuff like that, or at least I know the general vicinity, so that way if anything pops up, I can show up. I'm fine with that. I don't have to track you, nah, because I'm like, if I have to track you, then I'm already irritated at that point that I even have to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I asked my daughter to just share her location. Like she went to Puerto Rico a couple of about a month or so ago or whatever. I just like to know if anything would happen. At least we could say she was here. Not like I could get to her in another country, but I just feel like as a safety precaution, if something were to happen, we could say, well, she was last seen here, there, or this is where we're pinging. Like I'm really asking her to do it as a safety measure only, not to be in her business. Like I don't know, you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Yeah. All
Oh
right.
yeah, that one, that aspect, yeah, that aspect, yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. Now, Ansel asked Mike, are there places you won't pick people up?
Nope, nope. I pick people up from the projects. I pick people up from the strip club. So yeah, I go pretty much everywhere. I literally had a white guy I've had to pick up from the strip club, and there's only like one strip club in Nashville, by the way, for those that don't know. But
Really?
there used to be a bunch more, but there is only one now at this point, and it's you know you have the people that think they're holier than thou, and the strip club. It's a whole long story, but anyway, this strip club has survived.
All right.
Yeah, I go everywhere, every single place in Nashville.
The second question I have for you guys is, and I saw this on I was watching Chaos, right, which is a new series on Netflix. And actually at first when I started watching Chaos, I it was a little bit confusing because Jeffrey Bloom is playing Zeus. And I was like, it's kind of weird, right? It's about the Greek gods, right? And but when I watched it, it really has a message on how we navigate as a people and how we worship God, right? And but in that movie, there's a scene where there's a woman and a guy, and the guy loves this woman, and she's torn because she fell out of love with him. And her thing is, how do you tell somebody that you're no longer in love with them? How would you tell somebody that?
Oh, that's a good one.
Someone
That
that you've
is
been
a
with for
good one.
years and you have now fallen out of love with them, but they want to spend the rest of their life with you. They want to marry you, but you cannot connect with them. You fell out of love. How do you tell this person that?
Oh,
That's
that's a good
I
one.
feel like I kind of went through that. I mean, I had to ask my ex to leave. We were engaged to be married and everything, and he fully was ready. We would have already been married if it was for him. It was me that kept kind of anyway. I wanted to have a wedding, and we didn't necessarily have the money, right then and there. And he was just like, forget that. Let's just go to the courthouse. We can, in a year on our anniversary or 5 or 10 or whatever, we have the money together. We can have, the wedding we want. I just want to be married. So he wanted to get married. But then, things happened over time that I just was like, I can't spend, my life with him. And I eventually, had to ask him to leave. He didn't want to leave, but I just, I wasn't, I feel like I was as courteous as I possibly could. I
But
gave him the
I
time.
remember what you were going through during that time. And for those that don't know, it wasn't an easy decision. That wasn't something you woke up and said, all right, you gotta go. That whole process with your ex took time because I remember you did feel bad because you no longer loved him in the way that he loved you, and you didn't see a future with him, and you were torn
Yeah.
with how you're going to deal with it. And you were more so torn, as far as I can remember, about how he was going to take the news.
Hmm.
More so, how he was going to navigate the rest of his life, knowing that you didn't want to be with him anymore.
Yeah, and I mean that's a sad realization that you come to sometimes. Just people fall out of love, or I don't want to see anything bad. I just didn't want to be with him anymore. But I had concern for him as a human being, so I felt like I did it in the kindest way I could think of. I said to him, I said, if I give you 30 days where you don't have to pay any of your half of the bills, can you use that money to go ahead and move on? And that's what we did. He was doing some stuff. I kind of, it's everything is becoming a blur to me kind of now, but he was doing stuff that was getting on my nerves that other people would have just had his stuff on the curb. I mean, he didn't put his hands on me and nothing like that, but he was just, I don't know, he was just making life very unpleasant. So, a lot of people would have come home to find their stuff on the curb, but I tried to do it in a very humane way.
And you did.
It was hard, just the whole, life. I just think that we hit so many like places in life that we would have never thought because, I really didn't want to be with him for like 2 years, but it's like stuff just kept happening, with the death of my father and all. Like I put it on the back burner. It's like I just could not process another thing, and it's weird because even though you may want to break up with someone, it can be sometimes hard to process because it's another new normal. And with me going through all that different stuff with the loss of like my cousin died that June, my father died in July, his wife died in August. I had never experienced three major deaths in my family right back to back. And then, my mother having that stroke in December. I'm just like, it's just too much stress and trauma going on right now. I couldn't process that. But once I got to a certain place with, I don't know, grieving, or I don't really know how to explain, but a place where I felt like I could handle that, then we had to start looking at getting him out of there. But people would just think, oh well, you wanted to break up, it shouldn't be hard. But it's another new normal. It's not always easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy. So
That's,
breaking up with somebody you're not in love with anymore.
yeah. How would you deal with
Well,
that?
I haven't had to experience that one, but I definitely probably had it happen to me. I would say well, I would say she didn't necessarily break up with me, but she did things that told me that she wasn't in love with me anymore.
Okay.
And I saw those signs and it was like, okay, so I made the exit before she actually got the words to say she was done.
Okay.
But in that instance, I would say, yeah, I took the initiative. But overall, I would say just hey, say what you got to say. Unfortunately, some instances you got to rip that band-aid off.
That's
You
a hard.
can't just. It's a hard one to do. It's a hard one to do, but make sure you got your ducks in a row on your end, because anything could happen once you say, I don't want to be with this person anymore. You better know that person
Do you think it's
before you
hard
do that.
because we have to say it, or do you think it's hard because we're wrapped up in how they're going to take it?
It's
A
probably
little
some
of
of
both,
both.
I would say.
Hmm. It's
A
so
little of
many
both.
things to consider. You have to think about like how are you going to function financially after that. If you've become so much intertwined with each other's families, and still maybe having to see like it's so many other relationships that become involved, especially if you go long term. It's a lot of things to consider. And then you don't want to hurt somebody. You may know that person's background or their situation. It's so many things involved with that. But I guess you got to look at both sides because it's like, is it fair to someone? And I don't know if I discussed it with y'all. That's like a slow death, or that's another aspect that's hard because people sometimes will stay with you even if the relationship is horrible, like out of I guess comfortability or
That's what
whatever.
Mike is saying. He
Yeah.
hit exit because he saw the signs. Because maybe she would have held on a little longer, but he
Hmm.
saw the signs, so he was like, "I'm out."
Yeah, and like with us,
I saw
it
the big
wasn't.
sign. The big sign is the guy that she actually this was back before I was married, but uh I saw the big sign because the guy came knocking on the door that she had slept with, that she was working with. So that was the big sign right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like with me, he wasn't pleased with, the way that I was interacting with him. But it's like he just kept saying, "Stop punishing me, stop." And I'm like, he couldn't get it in his mind that it wasn't a punishment. I really am not attracted to you anymore. I don't see you in that way. And that's a hard thing to go
Mhm.
through, like where you're constantly being made to feel like, well, I'm not gonna say, but you're getting the message that you're letting someone down all the time. Unless you're some kind of sadistic person, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, Cheryl Lee say, is it that you fall out of love or that you realize the partnership just isn't aligning?
For me, it was both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you just in my experience, I would say yeah, I didn't realize things weren't aligning. I mean, I really loved this woman at that time,
Yeah.
but I knew that it wasn't gonna work. And funny part is, now no one that I know knows where this woman is, but yet she lives in Nashville, which is funny.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah, it's
Dorothy,
not.
I understand this 1000%. Sometimes we say things in our head and we just can't get the words to come out. So I understand that because, saying it in your head versus saying it out of your mouth, once you say it out of your mouth, it makes everything real.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it becomes hard, right?
Mm.
It makes it real when you say it out your mouth because you can't pull that back.
But
You
I
can't.
think that there's it's different levels of reality because I could say with my ex, I asked him what I asked him. He agreed to be out in the 30 days, but I don't think he thought I was serious. And I had given him 30 days, and we got so far in the process. And he was looking for apartments and stuff, and he hadn't found anything yet. And he had said to me a couple of times, he kept thanking me for my patience. And after about the second or third time he said that, I had to ask him. I said, "You're thanking me for my patience, but what exactly do you think that means?" "Oh, thank you for working with me while I find someone." I'm like, "Well, I'm working with you within that 30 days, but I need you to understand that once the 30 days is over, you have to go whether you found something or not." And that's when he had a whole complete meltdown. Once he realized I was really serious and all, I mean, he was crying, he was punching the air. He didn't like hurt me or anything, but it really set in, and that's when he really broke down. And that was hard, but I didn't realize up until that moment he didn't really accept that that was really real.
It's so crazy because when I broke up with
He
my
put
ex,
Cuba Gooding Jr. on you.
Yeah.
when, when I broke up with my ex, I gave him 2 months to go, right? And in that 2 months, he tried to be real nice. He tried to do things. And I didn't care. I was like, you got to be gone by April 1st, right? And I think during that 2 month process, he thought maybe I would soften and change my mind. But I didn't. And ultimately, he didn't have a car. He doesn't have a car. I was the one with the car. And when he had to move, I didn't offer him a ride, nothing. I was like, figure it out. Okay. I remember when he moved out the first trip. Then he came back to get his stuff. Now he had weights and all kind of stuff. I watched that man pack. I said, listen, whatever you carry out of here today, don't come back for nothing else. Whatever you leave behind is mine. Cause I'm not in the habit. I learned many, many years ago. Motherfuckers will leave their red hat talking about I left my favorite red hat, looking for an excuse to always come back. Whatever you leave here is the fuck mine. Okay. And I remember my friends saying, damn, Roar, now where I live, the bus can run on a corner during the week because it's rush hour. But if it's the weekend, you got to walk up the big hill to catch the bus, right? That motherfucker walked up that hill with all his shit, okay, to go catch the fucking bus to go back to New York because when I said I was done, I was the fuck done. Oh, my mother's on here, so she's a witness.
Good morning, Miss
Done.
Sam.
And they were like, you literally let him walk to the bus? I said, yes, because you know what? Sometimes messages get crossed. If I get caught trying to help him move, trying to help him do that, he's going to assume that there's an emotional connection there. And not that
Mhm.
I don't care,
Hmm.
but I need you to know that this is cut and dry because ain't nobody worrying about what I
Yep.
got to do when you leave, right? Why would I worry about what you got to do to get the fuck out? Right? And I did that. And then after he left, he would text me every now and again, try to have small talk. And I was like, don't try to have small talk with me. Even up until about 3-4 months ago, he texted me just a simple word. It said "when?" question mark. I just stared at it and I was like, when the fuck when? I never responded. Cause I'm like, when what? Motherfucker, that's them trying to pull you in to try to have some kind of connection. And so I had to learn to cut and fucking dry. I gave 2 months and a couple of times he was like, oh, you're so cruel. I'm like, that's not cruel. 2 months? That's not cruel.
That's a lot of
Well, I
grace.
still have my ex's dining room table that he got from his mother when she passed.
Somebody goes, yeah.
Yeah, I still have the table, but it's been over 2 years now. I think that he must not care about the table, like, because I was saying up till a certain point, because he just went to stay with his brother when he left me, so he didn't have a place. I said, I guess eventually once he gets situated, we can arrange for him. And I was going to plan to have the table, sit not you come in and get the table. I was going to have the table and the chairs and everything outside at the time when he said he was
I
ready.
am
But
not
it's been over 2 years now.
I am not
Now, he don't want that no more.
okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you can't carry the fuck out, we're not making no arrangements. We're not doing shit. This is not storage or us. Okay. My shit.
So you think 2.5 years is long enough to say he don't want the
Listen, 2.5
table?
weeks is a
Oh,
long.
that's been past long enough.
When I put my husband out, I gave him 2 weeks to come and get his stuff. God is my witness. This nigga had tailor-made suits. We were church-going folk. He had $300 shoes before people were really rocking shit like that. And I said 2 weeks. Since you got bitches you want to fuck, they got closets, right? 2 weeks. That Saturday, the 2-week mark hit. I piled up all his shit. I had the list from Salvation Army. I checked off everything, put them in bags, had my list, went to Salvation Army. They stamped it for my taxes. And that nigga called me a couple of days later. I said, bitch, I said 2 weeks. Go get your shit from Salvation Army. I'm not the fuck playing. This is not storage. If I got to pay all these bills by myself, your shit not getting stored. When you go put your shit in storage, they charge you. They charge you a monthly fee to store your shit. Right? That is me. I am not storage or us. You do not get a pass on storing shit. So whatever you can't carry is mine.
Bro, I got a quick question for you.
That's it.
I got a quick question for you, bro. Now, you talked about that previous story and the guy taking the stuff up the hill. One part of the story one part of the story that I thought was really, really funny is that you asked him to move out on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. So that's what I thought was really, really funny. So I'm like, maybe he thought it was a joke.
He didn't leave till April 15th, but he did leave, right? And the 2 weeks extension past April 1st had me irritated. Because I was like, the fuck? But ultimately, I did that and I did a clean cut dry because I feel like, no. Why am I extending you courtesy when you didn't extend me courtesy when we were together? You understand what I'm saying? You didn't do what I needed you to do when we were together. So why would you ask me to do you a favor by storing your shit after you the fuck gone? No.
We didn't really have like a show enough conversation about the table. He just was like, I'll be back to get my table when I can. But I have not heard from this man since. That was July 2022 that we broke up. And, we had some communication up until a certain point. But the last thing I ever heard from him, he wished me happy birthday for my birthday in January of 2023. And I have not heard from him again. So we just going to leave it like that. I can't see him popping up now
his best
talking
life
about
right now. He trying to get his best life on right now.
You don't want that table, please.
I don't want to never feel like I'm keeping nothing from nobody. And I know that was like the last thing he had that was actually a belonging of his mother.
Listen, well, you should have carried it with him. Because my ex was like, I'm taking the TV. I bought the TV. I said, bitch, take whatever you can carry up the hill to the bus. That's it.
So he took the TV that we
he didn't take he didn't take none of that stuff because he couldn't carry it. But he was like,
mine did. He took the TV that we had. He took the TV we had in our room, and it's just how I've always had a blessing and an anointing over my life. I was always good to him. I did right by him, even through that situation. But one thing I know, God don't play about his daughter right here. Don't mess with her. He took that TV out the room to be spiteful. I mean, I feel like he did. I don't know. He said he didn't. Whatever. He took the TV, packed the TV in there wrong, and broke it. He never even got to use the TV. He broke it in transit. So he gonna send me a picture. He went out the very next day and bought another larger TV.
So he could have
And gonna
just
send.
left
He
Wowie.
could have just bought a TV. He just was
They cheap
determined.
as hell these days. I was in Best Buy and they had 65 inches for 2 and change. I was like, what?
But I
No,
just felt like he
I
was
hear y'all
trying to
talking,
spite
but
me or just flex on me just to show, like, because I mean, I didn't even need to know, like, but he said, you're not going to believe it. I put the TV face down and now it's just this blue light that come, it won't come on, da da da. But then he wants to send me the picture that he bought another TV. And I'm just sitting there like, you could have just bought a TV. Like, you just couldn't stand for that TV to be in that room. But guess what? I got me another TV the same day. That wasn't even the point. But I
I
said, you
got a
see, I
theory.
said, you better look at the Lord and how he feel about his daughter. Don't play with his daughter. Like, don't do it.
I got a theory for you as to why that table is still there.
Go ahead.
All right. You know, Steve Harvey did say some words one time. Okay. Now, at that point, I would say, you know, he probably still didn't think it was real. And that's why he left the table was there. He thinking in his mind, maybe I can hunt for a home. Maybe I can go in there and hunt for a home, and that table, I don't have to move that table, and I can be right back in that house. But of course, after a while, he kind of abandoned that thinking. That's what I'm kind of in my mind thinking. Why that table is still there? Because he thought he might be able to hunt for a home. Because, you know, hey, it is some brothers out here that will try to hunt for a home that ain't got no home, and they like, look here, I gotta have the best performance of my life to stay in this house.
Well, that I when I tell you I have not heard from this man since January of 2023. I hope I didn't talk him up, but I just don't see him, you know. And I just thought about it with with Robin. I really don't even like think about it that often. I've made peace with that situation, but I don't know. I just think that the table is just is, but and I never cared about it. I actually have a dining room table. You saw that table that's sitting in my living room. I really wanted to put that down in the basement. That's not really that my living room is still a work in process. Mm-hmm. I was just going to take that table and put it down in the basement. Like I have no connection to his table at all. You know.
Yeah, table. I would say this though. That table got to go. The table gotta go.
Yeah, I got tables all rust down. You know, my base like I'm gonna have that little dining room table.
You gotta have a garage sale.
Yeah, because that was a nice little. That table was perfect for the because it's like a pub height table with the stools and I mean it's cute, but I don't need it, and I'm certainly not. If that's like one of your last things that was actually a belonging of your mother, I wouldn't, begrudge you of it. But
he don't care. It's been 2.5 years, girl. No, bye.
If he cared, he would have told you about it. Because the first thing that's gonna happen is when you get rid of it, he's gonna be like, "Oh, but I ruined that table." I'm like, "Hold on,
yeah." And
2.5 years, bro. Come on,
if
man.
he wanted the table, he could pay for it to be put in storage. See, that's my thing. I'm not gonna do that for you, but.
He probably could have put it in his brother's house. It's his mother too. Like y'all could both be like, "Oh, this is mom's table." Like,
yeah.
Look, at this point, I wouldn't even send a message to say I'm getting rid of it. I would just get rid of it and be like, it's done. Bye. If he asks about it, fine. If he doesn't.
Yeah, that was the last thing of his that's in my house. And when he came with like the day he said, because he took as much as he could that day, but he had to make like another run. And I had all his stuff packed in the living room. You're not going to be going through here, grabbing anything. I had it all packed in the living room. And he said, "Oh my God, I didn't realize it. You ain't leaving none of that crap in my house, all them suits and all that." It was all, it was a couple of clippers and stuff in the front bathroom that I didn't realize he left. I said, "Let me get that for you." But everything that I was aware of was packed up right there in the living room and ready for him. And it was a couple of odds and ends I had to grab, but all he could do was stand in that living room, take his stuff out and go out the door. Like, you do not have free reign of this house to be walking wherever you want. And not like I wasn't saying it on nothing mad, but I was just trying to set those boundaries.
Yeah.
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 Jeez, Georgia.
I mean, the one other thing that my did after he moved out was, you know how you have the Alexa? I had the main Alexa in my living room, and then I had the smaller one in the bedroom. And so I let him take the smaller one in the bedroom, but it was still linked to my account. And so what he would do was, and I didn't realize it, my Alexa would come on out of the blue. and start playing love songs. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is my Alexa coming on playing love songs? He would turn my Alexa on, or he would intercom me through my Alexa. I was like, oh no, motherfucker, you can still hear my shit through my Alexa. I had to go onto my Alexa account and delete that whole shit off to make sure that he couldn't connect to my account. See, shit like that, you don't be thinking. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Wow.
still. Like, I could have been having a whole rendezvous session in here and he'd have heard the shit.
Right. Now that's a new one. You
What
know,
if-
my ex at one point he was trying to send like pictures to me of us in happier times, but that's the Alexa, that's another level.
That was
What
that
if,
was crazy to me.
What if you'd have had somebody in the house and he'd have turned on to me as a stranger?
That's
in my
what I'm
house?
saying.
That would have been hilarious. I've been hilarious to do in terms of a movie, but it wouldn't have been hilarious for you. It would have been fun.
Exactly. I'm like, what the hell? He'd be talking, he'd be like, hey, have a good night. I'd be like, what? No, nigga. No. Like, I was really devastated about that. I unplugged my Alexa until I could figure out how to fix that shit. Cause I was like, yo, this is crazy. So that's just a warning for y'all. When y'all break up with people and somebody take one of the little Alexa boxes, make sure you disconnect your accounts.
What
But,
answer had a question? What is the situation more difficult for men or women watching rooms in the house change? I don't.
What you
I
mean
don't,
rooms
I
and
don't understand.
change?
Are you watching them legally or illegally, as in through
Yeah, what's
a
this
camera that
mean?
you forgot?
What's this mean? You mean rearranging the furniture as you're packing shit? The rooms are looking different because you're packing this shit. What do you mean? Because I don't care.
I'll say this. I'll give my explanation of what I thought that answer means. But there was this chair that I loved that was down. It was a I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I loved riding in this chair. But of course, my wife said it had to go. So I was frustrated about that, mad about it. Sitting there in that chair, I was like, man, this chair has produced all my greatest writings when I sit in this chair. Of course, it ended up going, but yeah, I was mad about it. I stewed about it for a little bit, but of course, it ended up going. But I ended up getting something else that I actually like a little more now. So actually now I get to sit in the office and look out a window and see all outside while I
Yeah,
write
but that's
or whatever.
different because you're still
I saw
in
the room change though.
Yeah, but
Like
you're
you were
still
saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You did say
It's just like little disputes or just like things in a relationship are just wild. Like I have a coworker that's talking about like her husband is retired, so he's home all day. She works, and she said he never washes any dishes. And she's asked him to do his dishes. He won't do it. They have a dishwasher. He won't load it. So this is just like a thing for her now. So she said that if she uses, whatever dishes, she'll wash hers and leave his there. Like,
Ooh. Hey, but hey, I can't even front. I've been in that situation a little bit.
I can't do that. That would
I said I can't either, but I think it's like a principle with her because I think she feels used or mistreated because he's just
I would get
not like you're home all day.
I would pack up all my fucking dishes and I would put them away and I would fill my cabinets with paper cups
Paper
and
stuff.
plates, paper forks and knives. I would treat him like a fucking kid. And when he turned around, I might pull out a plate to eat my dinner on, but he gonna be wondering where the fuck you get that plate from. Nigga, don't worry about it because you don't wash dishes. You're gonna eat off these plastic spoons from Costco.
Yeah, because I cannot just wash selective dishes. I
Me
have to
either.
wash everything. Like
My
that.
kitchen gotta be clean. I can't.
But then can you imagine how she feel? Like, I've been standing on my feet working all day. You just sat here and chill, ate everything you want to eat, and I got to do your like that's not even fair. Like I see how she could be stewing.
That's why
having to
Debbie
do
and
anything.
Fancy don't want to live with their men. You see, you giving them more reason. You giving them.
I will tell y'all this. It is definitely when you go from living on your own to living with somebody, it is definitely an adjustment, and you're gonna get an adjustment in good ways, and you're definitely gonna get an adjustment in some bad ways. Because boy, oh boy, those habits that person does are going to seep into that house, and it's a matter of can you deal with it or can y'all talk
like that
about
what
it?
her husband is not doing with it? That's just cruel, right? Like, I mean, why would you keep putting her through that if she's asking you? That's just rude.
I can speak on this one, Brandy. Brandy, I can speak on this one because I've been in this situation before.
Oh.
So So yeah, I messed around and forgot the dishes, and I was like, I'll get them later, or do this, do that, and later turned into about a week. So I look up, all the dishes is clean, and of course, what did we get? Raw, you mentioned it earlier. What did we have in our house? What did you
Paper
say to
plates.
get if the dishes ain't? Yep, we sure did. So I was like, oh, got the message at that point. But we did have a dishwasher. We just got the dishwasher redone, so we have that.
Well,
But at
maybe
that
I
point, we
suggest
didn't.
should suggest that to her, like to go to the paper plates, because I mean, I'm assuming that this was a recurring thing, and she asked you, like, baby, please stop. Like, if you're retired, you're home all day, every day. She's going out working and have to come home to a sink of dirty dishes, and y'all have had numerous discussions. I would think that you wouldn't keep putting her through that, and you would at least put them in the dishwasher.
Oh Lordy, we're encouraging people to not be with each other now. Oh goodness. See,
Okay.
I saw the last comment. Oh
Would you
my
or
goodness,
would you
but no,
not, like, would you just continue, like, she's let you know that this is a problem for her? You wouldn't keep just leaving dishes in there for years and years. That's like a one-time
nah,
thing you did.
nah, I wouldn't do that over and over again. Nah. But with me, biggest thing to get me to do something or have me doing something, just give me some music to go with. Give me some good music. Oh, I've been and cleaned the house, did everything at that point. Give me some good music, listen to. Man, I get a lot of stuff done at that point.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
it sounds
that's a
terrible.
bad
I
one,
know.
man. Yeah. I just think we just put our partners sometimes through suffering, like, just for, that I think that's very small and petty. But over time, if you keep saying, like, if you've expressed to someone you don't like it and they keep doing it, it could be dishes or whatever, it's something that they make no effort to correct. You can see how that can just become like a major pain point, within a relationship.
Yeah, I would definitely can. Definitely can. I'm over here. Sorry, I got a message a minute ago about some black owned business that wants to be my driver when I have to go to events. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Like I
Wow.
have to go one Sunday. I'm actually covering the Tennessee Titans and Green Bay Packers game. I actually got credentials to be in media, so I'll be sitting up there in the box watching the game,
Oh, good.
nice and comfortable. So,
Nice.
mhm.
Congratulations. But guys, it is 10:34 and I have to prepare for an 11 o'clock meeting. So I have to wind down. But this was great, guys. It's been a while since I've had people on a Friday. So this was good. It's good to see your face, Brandy. Good to see your face, Mike.
Thank you. Yours
You know,
too.
stay
I
positive.
bet I pop up every now and again. Every now and again, I
Yes,
pop
you
up.
do. Yes, you do. All right.
Yeah,
But
well, I
thank
thank
you
y'all for
guys.
listening to my stories of this
Yes.
alternate universe that
Definitely. I appreciate y'all. So I'm going to wind down and remind you guys of a couple of things. Thanks, Brandilla. Thanks, Mike. I'm
Hmm.
going to remind you guys of a couple of things. We have Friendsgiving coming up. And so with Friendsgiving, we are working on the menu. I will be trying to put that together this weekend. We changed some things around a little bit. And so I'm gonna start putting together the menu and I'll share it in our Friendsgiving chat. People can chime in, but I want to solidify this menu by mid-October so that at least I know exactly what we're doing that Saturday for Friendsgiving. All right. As far as I know I'm going to Buffalo the first weekend in October to hang with Valerie, our Coffee with Friends family. Again, I keep the connections. I like to visit Coffee with Friends family members and hang out to keep the connection going, build on our relationships, right? And keep moving forward. I love that. So I'll be spending a long weekend with Valerie in Buffalo. We got some things up our sleeves that we're going to be doing. And then the Friendsgiving is in November. And then January, we'll be going off to the birthday trip. Now, so far we got Debbie, we got Fancy, we got Valerie that has made their deposits for the trip. And so far we got 4 people that's definitely going marked down for their deposits, right? And I'm sure more people are going to onboard. All right. But right now that's the plan. All right. So with that, y'all have a blessed weekend. And stay positive, right? And stay steadfast. And do not forget the message that we read today about having a God jar, knowing where to put all your challenges. Don't try to come up with solutions for all your challenges. Put your faith, put your trust in the bucket of faith, right? And trust the process, right? Let God handle your battles, all right? And with that, y'all, I'm going to send y'all out with some positive vibes because That's what I do. Cause no matter how low,
even when you feel low, you can still
and you
go.
get the whole song.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
Huh?
Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
I never answer.
No, man, I still.
Hey, this is Coffee with Friends, and I am Royalty Devo. Happy Friday, y'all. Move with peace and blessing, and get this message on the way out. The whole song.
Go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day.
Hey.
I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave.
I've been doing shit my way.
Or the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I am right.
Hey.
You never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no man, I still go.
And I don't. I'm hard-headed as fuck.
Go, 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 you got a mind, but even that could change.
You can flip the gray matter like some battery.
In your brain.
Huh?
That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain.
Hey.
Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low,
You can still
go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
I never answer to no man, I still go. And I don't, y'all. I'm out. See you on Monday.
Go, 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 go.